Let's talk about the two main regrets that I had as a computer science major and what I would do if I could now to fix them. Hi, I'm Laura, a PM working in tech, and on my channel I cover my life working as a PM, my life working in tech, and other computer science related advice. Now for my first regret, it's on the topic of jobs and internships. Inevitably, you're going to fall on one side of the spectrum. You're going to wish that you spent more time, or you're going to wish that you spent less time. Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm on the side of wishing that I spent a little bit less time hunting for jobs and internships, or at least less time worrying and stressing about finding the perfect internship or full-time job at the end of it all. Spending any amount of time as a computer science major, you're probably in the thralls of the conversations around compensation, internships, full-time job hunting, what have you. You'll know the immense pressure and also just general culture on making sure you have an internship secured, particularly at a FANG or Fortune 100 company, and also making sure that your summers are full of lead coding, interview prep, and just applying for more and more jobs for the next upcoming recruiting season. The really one big sticking point though that I have around focusing way too much on jobs and internship hunting is going to be when I attended Grace Hopper in person in 2019. After hearing about the success stories of people attending Grace Hopper and also just the humongous career fair and hundreds of companies recruiting at Grace Hopper, the really only big thing going through my mind was how can I get an offer while I'm at Grace Hopper and make sure that I'm set for the rest of the summer and school year. When I was at the conference, I spent literally all of my time at the career fair on the floor, talking to people, losing my voice, and just pitching out my resume to folks who probably didn't really care that much about my candidacy because they had plenty of other qualified applicants there in the first place too. I was so hyper-focused on any internship for the summer, which by the way, I walked out of there with one offer that I didn't even like and ended up not accepting, and I missed out on all the other cool opportunities held at the conference. Sure, I attended some of the company after parties and those were pretty fun, but a lot of the time was just spent focusing on, well, how do I get a job and who can I talk to here to make sure that I get that job? Another great part of Grace Hopper is going to be the amazing community of women in tech and leaders in tech that you get the chance to learn from and listen to, and I didn't do any of that. I intentionally didn't sign up for any sessions, and when I was there, you could probably walk into a few sessions, and again, I just chose to not attend because I was so busy and focused on recruiting. But I heard from my peers after the conference ended about all these cool sessions and lessons that they learned through these sessions that I didn't get the chance to participate in. Honestly, you can probably even boil this regret down just to how I spent the time at Grace Hopper, but I can also point to the countless times in which I stress cried or had emotional breakdowns over the recruiting stress that, again, didn't really matter in the end. I also want to point out that this is something that is totally easy for me to say after the fact, now that I've graduated, have a full-time job, and really have nothing to worry about compared to when I was a student. But honestly, job hunting in combination with school, extracurriculars, and staying on top of your social circle is a lot, and it's incredibly draining. I definitely appreciate all the time that I spent in school, doing interviews, mock interviews, lead coding, fixing my resume, attending different company sessions, and just learning the most that I could with respect to job hunting because it served me well. And it definitely also built up my knowledge to the point where I feel comfortable sharing and creating videos like this for other students to learn from. The point is, it's not the end of the world if you don't get your internship that first year, or if you don't get an internship at the crucial point of your junior year, going into graduation, or if you don't have a job lined up right as you graduate. There are plenty of other things that you can be engaging in and doing in the meantime that can have dividends short-term and long-term, similar to an internship. For example, you don't necessarily have to have an internship in order to start networking, finding mentors, and just gaining connections in the industry in the first place. Or you also never know what passion project of yours can take off and really be the next setting point in your career rather than that full-time job in the first place. Try to spend enough of your energy on things that do feel valuable and bring you happiness to help balance out the time that you have to spend doing the soul-sucking things like lead coding and applying to jobs. My second regret is also something I spent a little bit of time talking about in a couple of other videos, but I really wanted to bring it up to the forefront that there is not enough education happening in the student space for other career paths outside of software engineering. Every computer science student out there knows about the happy path into software engineering at a big tech company or a big tech firm, and that you're going to be living out your days coding for the rest of your life. So why do I feel so passionate about this area? Well, I spent a lot of my time growing up actually interested in art, doing graphic design, photography, doodling, painting, what have you, that I kind of just tossed away when it came time to go into high school and get prepared for college and just generally looking out for a career. You know the age-old adage that art doesn't really get you anywhere, it doesn't make money, and it's not really a career that you can pursue if you want to make money. You can kind of imagine my shock and frustration when I found out that there was a visual arts related role even in the throes of tech, aka UX and UI design and related fields to design. But maybe at this point you're saying, okay Laura, but what is there beyond software engineering, which you all know about, product management, which you've hammered home about, and also just design, which you've also mentioned in a few of your other videos? Well, just to name a few, there's security engineering, customer engineering, and customer success. being a tech recruiter, data science, machine learning, and other flavors of PM such as program management and project management, and also other roles that I'm probably just forgetting and not mentioning at this point. If you're still in school or early in career and your current role just really isn't fitting it for you, then try to explore and see what other niche roles there are in tech that may fit your interests a little bit better. I found that law school is a pretty good variety when it comes to upper division electives as they relate to engineering, machine learning, security, what have you, but not a lot of education around other career fields. So if your school is also similar to mine and doesn't offer a lot of variety in that sense, there are plenty of other resources and also great YouTube channels that give you a glimpse into the day of a life or the kind of responsibilities that you take on in these different career fields that can be immensely helpful if you are interested in exploring and wanting to do a career switch or move into these careers in the first place. For general design, I really appreciate Chun Buns, who is a dedicated UX designer, and Maisie Lei, who is a software engineer and also does a little bit of design-related content on her channel. For product management, I can't highly recommend Colors of Chloe enough because she has a lot of great content. Also, talk about a little bit of a tongue twister there. For security, there's Tech with Key, or Kiera, who is just now starting a podcast on her channel about her overall computer science journey and also role as a security engineer at NASA. For data science, there's Tina Huang. And lastly, for software engineering, if you haven't heard of her already, Miyuko or Hello Miyuko is a great resource about all things engineering. In addition to these channels who are sharing a boatload of knowledge in each of their disciplines, you can also find a lot of content in newsletters that you can subscribe to, or also have a free tier for. For anyone working adjacent to engineering, The Pragmatic Engineer is a great, more technical read. Then there's Perspectives by Deb Liu, which covers a lot of product-oriented things, and also Bring the Donuts by Ken, which also covers a lot of PM skills and topics. So today may have been a shorter video, but I really just wanted to share that a year after graduation, these are still the two main things that I hold on to as my main regrets. Feel free to share any regrets that you may have down in the comments down below, either as a student or early in career professional. If you have any other questions, feel free to schedule a coffee chat with me and join the conversation on my Discord channel, both linked in the description box down below. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week for a brand new video. Bye!